immigration by any means necessary.
No, people coming into the country, immigration.
That's correct.
You stop that too?
Non-white immigration.
You'd stop that?
Yes, I would. Yes,
I would. Please.
First of all, if you would stop
Listen.
First of all, if
You're
you would
interrupting
stop
my
that,
friend.
you would stop the man in front working.
Hmm?
Who would do your job? Who put up this?
What make you think the plan is only for the white man and the Indians and other people are not to benefit from it?
I have nobody that's working for me that's non-white that cuts my lawn. The only people that do that are the upper class that have, as this gentleman said over here, have their heads stuck in the sand. And while they're enjoying
Who do
these...
you think put up L.A.? Who do you think put up L.A.? Everything. Starting from the railroad track. Everything you want. Everything you want.
Please, you can't have 5 conversations. Tom, Christine,
So now you
come on,
try to
please.
flip 'em
Suzanne,
over, huh?
Suzanne, come on. Suzanne, these people here
Who picks
paid
the
you the
food?
respect of listening to what you said when you were talking. The least you could do is pay them the same respect.
Robert, don't pay my attention over there.
What are we going to do? Is there a problem?
Well, I think it is a problem. As far as equality is concerned, I'm colorblind. It doesn't make any difference to me. The only thing that bothers me, basically, the people that are not legal that are here that are hurting us. It's not the black or the white or the yellow or whatever you want to call it, or black American or Indian American. We're all Americans. Everybody in our family died there. That wasn't one person.
Died where?
In the war.
What war?
To fight for the United World War I and World War II.
Right, yeah.
Both of them. And I myself, I was in it too. Consequently, but we have a problem. Yes, I know, and they did very good. I worked with them. I worked with the Texas outfit. I fought with them. And what I'm trying to say is basically is that I don't think the bad situation basically is we're being. It's not that there's a lot of races together. The whole country was founded on races, and the blending of it makes it such a great country with our talents. But we cannot afford the illegal situation because it's getting to a point where it's burying us.
Christine? Christine?
First, I think,
Hold on, please.
First, I think all of this really sounds great. You know, this is a melting pot and we should all get along as a race. But what we have to realize is that it starts right here. I have a friend right now that I live with who is as white as they come. And she was raised in Wisconsin. And her father taught her, just like he's probably teaching his children. But she grew up and learned that I was a person, and it didn't matter. And if she was a blind person, she would still be my friend. And she learned that it was wrong. So we have to start by teaching our children. And when I was a child, believe it or not, when I was a child, I knew nothing about race because my parents didn't try and say, you're black and this is going to hold you back. My parents taught me you are a woman, you are strong, and you can go anywhere in this world that you want to go. It doesn't matter about your race. However, at the same time, when I was about 5 years old, people would ask me, if someone asked me what color I was, I would say white because I just thought everybody was white. I could not tell that there was a difference. You can tell a difference when your parents come and tell you as though there's something wrong with you. But my parents didn't teach me that there's nothing wrong with me, and I can go wherever I want, regardless of people like this.
That's the majority of LA.
Or people, right.
Some of us are saying this is the majority of LA.
Right.
I really
And like
resent
this
Robert
gentleman
that
was
you think
saying-
he represents the white people.
No, I don't
This
say
is
that. I didn't say he
LA. This is
represents
the
the white
face of
people.
LA.
No, what
You
she
said he
doesn't
represents
represent
a
me.
lot.
No,
This
you
is the
know what
face
she's
of
trying
LA.
to say? She's trying to say is that people are prejudiced, but the people that are my friends who are white, they're not bigots. Because once
right.
I see that in
That's
you,
right.
you are out of my life.
That's right.
And if I have a black friend who talks about white people, they're out of
They're
my
out-
life.
that's
So
right.
my environment, I make a conscious effort to include people that treat people as individuals.
And you can
That's
tell
all
the
I'm
racists.
saying.
I heard
Hey,
a comment
Chris-
behind me. Go home if you're white. Then get out of here. Well, let me tell you something. In my city, the Asian influx in our school system is very big. And my daughter came home the other day and she says, Mom, I can't beat these Asian kids. They're so bright. And I said, well, then you know what? I said, excuse me, will you let me finish my statement? I said, then, you know what the problem is? It's not them. You're not studying hard enough.
Right.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
that's the problem.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
because they're too smart. You're not studying. So do we want affirmative actions for white in San Marino? I don't think so.
But what we were talking about, Christine, was immigration. My friend here was saying that
You ain't getting any of it.
he wants to limit the number of people coming in, non-white.
That's 'cause he's scared. He's
You're not
losing.
named Christine. She's Christine next
Oh,
to
I
you.
didn't hear that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Christine. Do you go along with that? You should be limited.
I really don't I'm in favor of the 187, and I'm going to tell you why.
Oh, please.
I'm going to tell you why.
Let me explain first. Let me explain first.
I-
Remember,
Let
you're
me-
talking to a British audience
I
that
understand.
has never even heard of one. It sounds like a lottery number.
It,
What's 187? What are you in favor of?
I'm not in favor of just
What is
throwing people out of the
187
country.
then? What is 187? Come on.
It is a racist bill.
What is 187? What do you believe in? What does it mean?
That they want only Americans here, and like we should ship all the Mexicans out.
That's not one.
They want us to ship all the Mexicans and Latinos and all of them out of the country.
187
That's
is a
not.
let me please my friend, please.
But this is what I want.
Let me explain for my audience.
I know what
187 means that the proposition that you won't give welfare to illegal immigrants and their children.
Right.
And you're in favor of that.
Or education.
Right. And why are you in favor of that?
But education is right. Education is the thing that I worry about. I don't. It's fine if they want to get an education, but why can't they come here and follow by the rules and go and be legal?
Hold on, Jean, please, come on, turn around. Come on.
Well, to me, 187, or the idea that
The proposition that
the
you
proposition
should do.
187, and the idea that people who are human beings cannot have access to services that would help them.
The services
Was-
being...
The services being education, being health care, being welfare,
Let us
what
be
have
clear
you.
about this. It was the proposition that was put up.
It
That
was-
this should apply to the illegal immigrants and their children. They would be denied all of these services and facilities.
Yes.
And that went through and got a majority vote on a
Yes, it
referendum
did.
of the people democratically voting in election of the state of California.
Yes, which
the whole
represents-
state.
the whole state of
voted for it.
California,
And
unfortunately,
you tell us you've got equality
Only
here?
10% of the voting electorate went to that election. That's number
But everybody
one.
else was
Number two,
entitled to vote.
They were and they didn't, and
Sure.
that's not. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, Proposition 187 was a precursor to what we're dealing with now as affirmative action, and we need to be clear on what affirmative action means. We got to be clear that the media can't call it positive discrimination. It is not positive discrimination. What affirmative action is, it is an opportunity to level the playing field and to provide equal opportunities to everyone, regardless of race, creed, gender, or color. Now, the other thing, or ethnicity, the other thing that we need to be clear on, it is not a preference, it is not a quota, and there are no set-asides. Those are illegal. There's only one set-aside, and that is in business.
What's a
and that is
set-aside?
a set-aside means that you take a pot of money for a contract, and this is in contracting, in public contracting, and essentially it means that a particular group of people can participate in this particular contract. The only thing that exists that is
5% women and 3%
right, but
veterans.
those are goals.
Right.
The only set-aside that exists is what they call the U.S. Small Business Administration 8A program. That is the only set-aside. All business contracting is done based on goals.
But you, Christine, started by saying, let me tell you, and you turn to the general audience, why you believe, why you're in favor of 187. Why are you in favor of denying all of the services we just talked about to children, she said.
Right.
Please,
I understand.
one at a time, please. No, come on, Christine.
I remember I think it was a show such as Primetime or whatever, and this is what made me change my mind, because I wasn't in favor. And there was a situation where a pregnant Mexican woman had crossed the border, and she needed some type of health care or something. At the exact same moment, a young white girl who was pregnant could not get into she had to go like way across somewhere to get to a hospital that would take care of her, just because she didn't have health insurance, but she was American. Yet and still, they went and took this Mexican woman with her. That was wrong.
That's not
Right.
And that is wrong. But
That
what
was
you're
wrong,
talking
and
about
that-
is
I don't
denying
feel like-
health care to children
I don't
that will
want- they
impact
shouldn't
our
deny it.
children. We have
187 is unconstitutional
tuberculosis,
anyway.
we
It's going to
have
go away. They've done what
diseases
they
that we
want.
had a handle of that
Come
are
on,
now
you're interrupting
resurfacing.
her.
We can't, we're paid $18 a day per student in school. We're talking about shutting down probably 2/3 of the school, laying off teachers. 8 years ago, we had the strongest economy in the world. We had the best schools, and we're dead last. We have
Let's
a
leave it-
problem.
I'd just like to say I'm a principal of one of the largest high schools in the state of California. And when all of the 187 debates were going on, I
Jean.
determined
Come on, help me, Jean. Come on,
determined that I would never be one of the principals who'd walk into a classroom and say, you need to get up and leave. What
And
I
that
really
would be, let's make that clear, remember, you're talking to a British audience, doesn't necessarily have to deal with that. That would be the consequence of
Yes.
passing a law that says you cannot give, for instance, education to those who are illegal immigrants
Right.
or the sons and daughters
Right.
of illegal immigrants.
And I would have...
And you'd have to go along,
Right.
like Tom wants to
And I would
separate
not do
people on the
that.
basis of colour, you're going to have to...
I would...
Please, please.
I would never, and our school district supported that, we would not be the ones to go in and ask youngsters, and I'm talking about older youngsters, 15, 16, and 17, and I still wouldn't want to go in and be the one to say you've got to go. What also concerns me here today is that we've got some wonderful young people that I talked to a little bit before the show started, and no one's even talked to them. They're our future. I'm in education
Miguel?
because I care about
Miguel,
kids.
let's talk to one of them. Miguel?
Yeah, okay. Let me tell you, okay, the American people, they did vote for Prop 187, okay, but they were misinformed. Okay, they were misinformed by all the propaganda going around about how Prop 187 was going to get rid of illegal immigration. That's bullshit, okay? That's bullshit, right? It is not doing anything to tighten up the borders. All it's going to do is kick out 300,000 kids into the streets, no health care, no education. What are these kids going to do? You think they're going to leave the country just because they got kicked out of school? No.
Miguel, whether it's going to work or not, whether you like it or not, how do you feel living in a country where people can go in a democratic vote and actually vote in favor of that proposition with all of the consequences that Christine and Suzanne have just been talking? In fact, there was a friend behind Christine have been talking about. What does it make you feel like?
Well, it makes me feel like, you know, all that America stands for is just going to waste, you know.
Are you American?
Yeah.
Do you feel American?
Yes, I
Do you
feel
feel
American.
part of this country when they talk like this?
Not when they talk like this, yeah.
What does it make you... Do you not despair of ever being able to be a proper, full, functioning American with
Yeah.
proper right? It does?
Yeah.
Why were you... You look pensive about that.
I was just going to say, actually,
And
what
that's
he was
why-
saying, if this 187 goes through, all these children are going to be on the streets. Where are they going to go? They're not seeing a long-term answer.
Where are you going to put the kids?
Where are they
Hold
all
on,
going to be?
please.
They're not going to go back to Mexico. They're going to be on the streets.
No, but
The
that's-
gangs are going to get
but what I'm
worse.
saying is, from the beginning, before they got in school, why couldn't they just go along and do the legal? That's what I'm saying.
It's not their
Why
fault.
couldn't they
Their
just go?
parents want
Okay, so why didn't
They
they?
don't have that choice.
Miguel,
What they're
Miguel,
going
go
to
on, Miguel.
create with
I didn't think,
Proposition
you know, I
187...
didn't even think they could get in school without
but
having
if-
the proper
They
papers.
can, but if Proposition 187 is implemented, what we're going to wind up with, as he has said, is a diseased, illiterate underclass. That then we've got crime, we've got a diseased, illiterate underclass, and then we have Tom Metzger come in and say we might as well exterminate them.
That's right.
Because they're
That's right.
diseased and they're illiterate.
Yeah, we might
And we have built the white supremacist society that we
Damien,
want.
Damien, you're one of the young people my friend was talking about. What's the future for the young people here?
I feel we have no future with men like Tom over there that wants to take us out of school. He's just afraid that if a black man raises up and becomes something, then a gang member or a drug seller or something like that goes to school and gets the education, becomes someone, he's been scared of me because I will be someone in life. And unlike you, a racist.
Right.
Well, I don't know.
Are you going to
Black
become
people and
so?
there's black people.
Can
The
you
black
succeed-
separatists
can you
and
suc-
nationalists, we get along fine. They know the score, you don't. You're in denial. You think Uncle Tom is going to give it to you. And Whitey is ready to blow, and he's already gone, man.
I feel with affirmative action that will help me to get inside of college and so I can further my education and become someone. If you want to destroy affirmative action, take rid of it, that will make me go out on the streets and not let me get into college. I'll be out there doing whatever to do to survive.
But you are going to college.
I am
You
going
are
to
going to
college.
succeed.
Yes,
in
I
spite
will.
of everything.
In spite of what Tom
Take care of yourself. They are a noisy lot out here. Take care of yourselves.